to Hikate's Crossing as we continue exploring this book, the Tarot. The Elements of Tarot by A.T. Mann. Okay, the origins and history of tarot. It is known that decks of numbered pictorial cards tied together with cords existed in India, China, and other Far Eastern countries and were brought back something by members of the Knights Templar during and after the Crusades in the Holy Land. But the Crusades ended in the last years of the 13th century, more than 100 years before the appearance of the first tarot decks in Europe. Whether these Eastern decks were the inspiration for tarot is not known. Okay, so the first tarot decks appeared in medieval Europe in the 15th century. The exact date or inventor of the cards is actually unknown. There are many candidates for the first deck of tarot cards. It is known that playing card decks with 4 suits of spade, bastoni, cope, and denari, the forerunners of our suits of spades, clubs, hearts, and diamonds, and portraying kings, queens, and knights were used more than a century earlier, and therefore the myth that tarot preceded playing cards is probably exactly that. Tarot decks are unique because they have 22 picture cards known as the major trumps or the major arcana, used together with the minor arcana of 56 cards similar to traditional playing cards, plus the addition of the 4 extra face cards, making a deck of 78 cards. The word arcana means secret or mysterious in Latin, while trump is derived from the Latin triumphi, which referred to a circular triumphal procession in Roman times, but now implies superiority. The earliest tarots are decorated with medieval images and symbols and have names such as the Empress, Pope, Emperor, High Priestess, Fool, Magician, and Hanged Man. All members of medieval society, in most tarot decks, these major cards are numbered from 1 to 21, with the Fool either 0 or left unnumbered. The names and sequence of the card is by no means standard and has many variations, and many variations exist. Many derivations have been suggested for the name tarot. It may come from the Latin word rota, meaning wheel, which is an anagram of tarot. It is used in some decks on the card of the Wheel of Fortune and was a magical formula utilized by the Brotherhood of the Rosy Cross. The Egyptian word tarosh means the royal way, and similarly it is suggested that tarot is derived from the name of the gods of writing and magic, Thoth. Some commentators who accepted its Hebrew origin seen it as a corruption of the Torah, the Book of Law. The early decks were individually hand-painted and later were block printed and hand-coloured using the popularization of the printing press. Okay, so I'm not going to go into much detail about these decks. So we've got Visconti Sforza. Okay, I've talked about that on a previous video, and you can go back and listen to that. Okay, we've got Tarot de Marseille, which we've talked about, and Spanish Tarot, and then the Rider-Waite Smith, and then you've also got the Thoth Tarot as well, which, what's in here? Whoops. The Thoth Tarot here. Okay, so basically, and there's lots of derivations, there's lots of variations, there's lots of different types of tarot deck. Okay, so we've talked about the history in depth, or shared the decks anyway on other things. I'm not going to go into too much detail. You can go in to do a lot of research, if you like, into the different types of decks and go into a little bit more with the Tarot de Marseille, specialized books with Tarot de Marseille, specialized books with Rider-Waite Smith, and of course specialist books with Thoth, and then tarot decks in themselves have guidebooks as well, which you can read a little bit about the history of tarot as well. There's some great history tarot books which you can go into a lot more detail, and I'm not going to go into that sort of thing. And then we've got the structure and symbolism of the tarot. Okay, I'm not going to go into too much. We all know that this tarot, a normal tarot deck has 78 cards, 56 minor arcana with 22 major arcana. Okay, that is 22 major arcana, and then you've got the 56 minor arcana. The 56 minor arcana are split into 4 suits. They're numbered 1 to 10, and then you've got 4 court cards with a variation of titles as well. The major arcana may have different titles. The minor arcana, the suits may be different as well. They're 4 different suits based on the 4 elements. So for the minor arcana, I've got 4 elements, and they can be represented by many aspects depending on the deck created. I'm not going to go into all that stuff as well. So then you can look at some of the tarot decks. If you people will read some of the pip decks we have or that are available, or the Tarot de Marseille, by the symbolic meanings of the numbers 0 to 10. Okay, so there can be symbolic numbers in that, and depending on what book you've got to what that is. So I'm not going to go into a whole lot of details on that. Again, the 4 elements have different aspects depending on the deck created, the thoughts of the author, the creative, and you can read in a whole lot more information in regards to that in the book, and I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail with that because that is something that you could research more about. I just want to enhance your tarot practice, just to sort of share some of the information that's available to you, and what you do with it is total to enhance that is totally up to you. Now, some people work with Kabbalah, astrology, and the sequence of the cards, and of course there's a lot more information on that which you can dive into. Again, this is just to give you an idea of the things that you can explore with tarot to enhance your tarot practice. I'm not going to give you all the research or the answers, because that's something that you have to do for yourself. You have to do the own research. You have to create your own resource manual, your own journals. Totally up to you what you find relevant. There's so much amazing information out there. You've got to find a book or information online that resonates for you to journal, to work with, to practice, to discover. So choose one practice that you want to do and start working with that. Don't try and do too much. Don't try and do 10 different books. Choose one book to work with, whether it's Tarot de Marseille, Rider-Waite-Smith, or Thoth. So choose one type of deck to work with and focus on that for a month. That's a good way to sort of start doing. 21 days to make it a habit, and then the rest of the 9 days or so to hold it in. So there's so much more that you can explore here in regards to, so just do an example. So what we've got here, let's look at this here. Let's choose a card, a major arcana to start with. Let's just choose, let's choose the world. We're just going to choose the world. Okay, so if we want to do the planet, okay, the planet is Saturn. Okay, and then the Hebrew is Tau, T-A-U. It's number 21, and it's called the world. Okay. So that's in, if you were doing, like, if you wanted to include the Thoth. Let's see if I can grab the world in this one. I just want to show you the difference. To show you. Oh, I've lost it now. So let's put that to one side. So we just want the world and the Thoth, right? Whew, it is hot, for sure. Okay. Whew. Just looking for the world. And isn't it knowing that you never can find it when you're actually looking for it? I know I should look for things first to begin with. There we are. The world, or the universe in Thoth. And then you've got the world. Right. So, like I said, it is in Hebrew, it's Tau, T-A-U. 21, the world is Saturn. Interesting. And then the fine with the world being Saturn. So let's talk a little bit about astrology, if you want to do that as an extra thing. The attributions of the major arcana with the elements and astrological signs and planets is accepted as a primary structure of the tarot. Although there are many arrangements for merging the two disciplines, the correlation is particularly valuable because astrology defines very clear personality types and physical and psychological actions to individual signs, planets, aspects between planets, which can be used to further enrich the tarot symbolism. Although a valid criticism of this is that the images of tarot deserve to remain associations of the unconscious rather than as a rational system like astrology. Apart from the structure of tarot, astrological symbols abound in the tarot. Images such as the Lion and Strength card obviously correlate with the sign Leo. The chariot with lunar crescents outside the walls of the city invokes the sign Cancer. Similarly, the lunar images of the High Priestess mark her as a goddess of the moon. The association of the Death card with the sign Scorpio is clear. The garden couch of the Empress is decorated with a Venus symbol upon a heart, clearly invoking Venus. The tower is destroyed by the burst of energy, which is obviously of the planet Mars. And the Sun card literally corresponds to the astrological symbolism of the Sun. The symbols bring an ancient and archetypal quality to the cards, which evoke deep feelings within us. Astrology is used to organize and interpret the core cards and minor arcana cards, in addition to its use in the major arcana. So there's so much when it comes to, now we get into the tarot symbolism, which is another aspect that we can look at further. So as you can see, there's so much information that can become quite overwhelming. So like I said, one step at a time without going into a whole lot of details. So you can look at the astrological aspects of the cards, as I discussed. So you can go through and find out all that information yourself. I'm not going to give it all to you because you've got to do your own research. That's how you can enhance your tarot practice, by doing the research, by writing it down in a tarot journal or a tarot resource manual, whatever you want to call it, by creating your own tarot practice by your own research. So that's it from me. Don't forget to check the links down below. Check the links on my channel. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you know when the next video will be uploaded. Take care and blessed be.